This episode of Speakers of Hydaelyn is made possible by our generous patrons, like Chris, Craig Marshall, Bellafray Dragontooth, Clinway, Metalligo Phaleon, Amara May, Adam James, Dan Wilkerson, Christoph Haas, Centra, Amy Veras, Infinitron, Casey Schaefer, Alex Baus, and Omega Cat Comet. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/SpeakersXIV.
This is Speakers of Hydaelyn.
Good evening, Aorcians. Welcome to Speakers of Hydaelyn, episode 50. I'm Lukile Bravestone, and today I'm joined by Orange Caramel, Yazz, and Maela and Yazz. This is episode 50, which means we've done this. Well, we haven't done this every Saturday for what would that be? 50 weeks.
That would be just under a year.
that would be around 50 weeks for those of you that aren't that good in math. Because if you look at our founding day 2014, you see that our number is way lower than it should be. That's because we had the famous hiatus that happened in 2015. Okay. We're not gonna make a big deal out of this episode. It's gonna be just a regular plain episode. But there is one thing we might want to do, and that's look a little look back on the some really cool memorable moments from.
I wouldn't use that word.
Orange is particularly happy for what we're about to show. But yeah, to celebrate the 50th episode, we're gonna take a look at something. But before we do that, let's just quickly go through today's episode. We're going to talk about the European servers filling up. We're going to talk about the queue times and the steps or the measures that are taken to reduce queue times. The reviews are in for Stormblood, and I have to say it's very impressive. There's also been an interview with Naoki Yoshida. We're also going to cover that. There are 2 campaigns running, and we're going to talk a little bit about patch 4.01 that releases on Tuesday. But before that, let's sit back and enjoy some classic Speakers of Hydaelyn moments. We'll be back right after this. Good evening and welcome to Speakers of Hydaelyn. Wow. Good evening, Eorzeans. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Speakers of Hydaelyn. Good evening, Eorzeans. This is episode 4 of Speakers of Hydaelyn. Good evening, Eorzeans. Good evening, Eorzeans. I am Lukile Bravestone, and you're watching Speakers of Hydaelyn. Good evening, Eorzeans. Good evening, Eorzea. Good evening, Eorzea. Welcome. Good evening, Eorzeans. Good evening, afternoon, and morning to you all. Welcome to Speakers of Hydaelyn. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Speakers of Hydaelyn. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Speakers of Hydaelyn. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Speakers of Hydaelyn, episode 23. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Speakers of Hydaelyn, episode 31. Good evening, Eorzeans. Welcome to Speakers of Hydaelyn, episode 32. Good evening, Eorzeans. Welcome to Speakers of Hydaelyn, episode 30. Oh my god, it's 42. I have to black out the screen for a sec, because there's something wrong. So hang in there, guys. That's right, Lonigan Theifer is not here today.
What's wrong?
Oh, for fuck's sake. I was muted. Okay. This... I know you can't hear me. Now you can. Okay. God. See, this is what... Okay, let's just move on. Yes, and it's... We're here. Oh! Pretend that didn't happen. Also, pretend that Vero... pretend that Vero isn't in the. Okay, Vero. Hello. Where is Lonigan in this mess?
There you go.
It wasn't a problem at all. Okay, so you know the rules. What the? You know what? Fuck this. And Vero is missing from everything because she's worth it. So we're just gonna wrap it up. Can you see the AFK screen? PlayStation 2 support.
How many PlayStation support?
I just realized that we're playing music.
Are we online?
I'm not alone though. I am joined by Vero Sombrero, who is, as usual, not present in her close-up. Good evening. Here we go again. Good evening.
Really?
I can do this. Good evening. Fucking the orange making whale noises in the background. Okay. Good evening. Why am I saying in this weird voice? Good evening. Good evening, afternoon, and.
I'm sorry.
This is never gonna work.
Okay.
Okay. Oh wait. This is the last test of the audio. Good evening, everyone. Sonic, as usual, joined by Lonigan Pfeiffer in his cardboard home, and oh.
Brilliant.
Now, I'm gonna have to ask for some patience here, because I just realized that the next screen we're supposed to go to show the slides is fucked up right now, because Lonigan's camera is merged with Orange's camera. There you go! so while I fix this mess, let's talk about the title of this patch. That... Thavnir, Mercidia, and Aldinard. I can tell you that is wrong. The correct answer is A. Althard Wait. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is B. The correct... Okay, that was... Okay, first of all, I have to make Orange aware that our viewers did not see the video screen that I held in front of your face. So they... It's time to pull.
Please.
Oh, my...
I love Final Fantasy 13.
What? Okay, we're back. What was that? That was a great quote. Yeah, so we've had our fair share of technical difficulties, so it's not gonna end with this episode.
God.
Okay. We forgot to mention that we've the Moogle post just released, and in that issue you'll find an interview with us. And as well as Remnants of a Realm, the first episode in written form on the Moogle post. I was supposed to post the link in the chat, but I don't have anything open right now, so I can't post the link. But You'll find it if someone in chat can find it and post it there. That would be nice. What else did I have to mention? Oh yeah, shit! I forgot to say a lot of things. The channel will return to its regular production schedule starting Monday. So Remnants will be back on Wednesdays, and I'm planning to get Secrets of a Realm out by Friday. I've got Chronicles on hold. I'm still struggling with the format, so I also need it takes a lot of time to do this. So I'm still struggling to find when to make Chronicles, because that one's going to take so much time. So we also have another project underway related to not related to 1.0, and we're talking about making a Let's Play series that might come out. And then we're also thinking about bringing casual streaming back through Lukile's Hangout. So look forward to that. That's the latest channel updates. Now, let's get to the main content. So, unless you've been living under a rock, you are probably aware that Stormblood has been struggling with, Final Fantasy XIV has been struggling with their data centers since launch. And until very recently, it was still pretty bad. And in Europe, quite surprisingly, it got so bad. The Omega world, with the brand new world that was opened with Stormblood, is now full. So please don't. You can't transfer to it anymore. Square Enix released a statement saying, with the help of new and existing players, the number of active players on the Omega world is now on the same level as the other worlds on the Chaos Data Center. Thank you very much for your cooperation. With that said, we will be temporarily suspending all transfers to the Omega world to prevent any further congestion. Additionally, and this is the kicker, if we continue to see an increase in population on the Omega world, we may change the status to congested. Please note that once the status is changed to congested, players on the Omega world will no longer receive the EXP bonus.
It's like going back on the word of it, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Well, pretty much. He was like, people came.
Yeah.
I didn't expect anyone to actually come.
That's a common theme with Square Enix, it seems. So they're urging everyone to go to the Louisoix world, which is the other new world that was opened in the EU data center.
Although I gotta give European players huge props, because if I'm not gonna lie, if they were to open up a new server in NA, nobody would go. I'm pretty sure about that, because there's, Zalera and Mateus and those types of servers are still dead. They were like, hey, here's you can have Gil and experience. People are like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah,
but if it's a new fresh server, maybe they would want to start
maybe if it was
bonus.
New.
Yeah.
Maybe if it was new, yeah. But there was all the same incentives were put on North American, the small North American servers, and maybe I'm wrong. Obviously, I don't have a care on those servers. Maybe it has grown, but not to the degree where it went from being non-existent to congested, which is insane. That's actually really, really impressive.
Yeah, that is quite impressive. Maela, do you have anything to say about this before we move on? About the Chaos Data Center filling up?
It was expected. They'll either open new servers or they'll just leave it.
Yeah, this sort of ties into the next part that we're going to talk about. But I just have to say that I am a little bit surprised. I didn't think the European, I feel like the European data center has been pretty calm. Except for Odin, I guess, and Ragnarok.
It's really worth it for the if you have no ties to a server, it's really worth it for the sort of the bonuses you get.
Yeah, but we don't. Yeah, for Louisoix is currently the only server that has. Well, Omega too, but that one you can't transfer to right now. Yeah, I think can you create a character? It's still open for character creation, right?
Well, yeah. How would they? They were talking about if it gets any bigger, but if they blocked that stuff, how would it grow? How would it become congested? Or did they only maybe stop new characters and you can still transfer to it? Maybe
all transfers are cancelled.
or you cannot transfer to Omega. It says specifically.
How does that make sense?
I mean, because people will still make characters there, so
right. They would have to have character creation available. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll just have to wait and see what the fate of Omega will be. We will report on it if something happens. Okay, so measures taken to reduce queue times. That is also a thing that's happening. Let's talk about what happened, the situation before they started with this. I saw horror example, like screenshots of people waiting in queue, having like 20,000 people in queue. I guess that's Balmung or whatever. It might have just been Photoshop, but I mean, it's Balmung, so I'm not really surprised. And even on our server, waiting an hour during peak time was not a big surprise. Then a statement was issued on June 28th, explaining that they would take some pretty drastic measures to reduce login times or queue times. So I'll just read what they said. We are experiencing a situation where several worlds are consistently reaching the maximum number of players that can be logged into the game during peak hours. This has led to extended login queues for players to log in. In order to ease congestion issues at launch, we have placed a measure to automatically log out players who have been idle for 30 minutes. However, we have noticed a number of players using methods to circumvent this automatic logout. This has created a situation where the login queue cannot move forward during periods of heavy congestion. I feel a little bit guilty here. As such, we'll be instituting a temporary measure that will log all characters out simultaneously across all worlds on a data center once a day. Announcement for when this will take place will be made will be made 1 hour prior via in-game system messages. Please note that you will be logged out of the game even while inside of instances and duties. Players will not be able to log back into the game for about 10 minutes while this is being processed. As a reminder, we're offering special... Yeah, so they also, for some reason, decided to cram in incentive to transferring to a new world from a congested one. So, of course, there were ways to circumvent the logout, and that was by opening the market board, watching a cutscene. Yeah, there were several ways. Basically, being occupied.
You know very well.
Yeah. Because that was what people do. I mean, it's kind of like the queue during... It's the same sort of logic, because you don't want to stand in... You don't want the login queue when you're AFK or get kicked because you're AFK, so you stay online, but that's why the queue time is so long for everyone. That's why it's so long in the first place, because people were... So they implemented this, and... I was very surprised to see that it worked. At least on Ragnarok, queue times are now like minutes at most, usually.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was going to be a joke. Like, it wasn't going to solve anything. Because in the UA servers, the reset was at 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Which there wasn't a queue by then. And it works somehow. I'm surprised. I have no words.
Yeah, it is strange, but I guess that's how many people were like just on 24/7.
That's in bots.
Yeah,
I think for the most part, it was mainly for the huge servers, right? Just personally, before and after they logged out characters, I had the exact same queues on Cactuar, which tended to be like 30 people or something like that. It was very, very small. Like I haven't had big waiting times the first few days, really. So honestly, I haven't noticed much of a change, but I've heard people from, Gilgamesh, Balmung, I've heard some people from Ragnarok saying the same thing, or it's just like, yeah, now your queues drastically went down. Yeah. Which is needed. Is it needed once a day?
Yeah, it feels a little bit too, like, and I also don't understand why they have it on every, like, as you said, like, you didn't see any change on your server. So for smaller servers, this logout is just annoying and not really helping anyone.
Yeah, it's almost like they should just do it for the large, congested servers, basically.
Yeah.
And the global time for everyone. That was...
Yeah. Having like, I don't know if it's like the same time for I think it's like just every single world at a specific time, no matter. I'm not sure how they reset this. Is it 2 p.m. for every server, like in every time zone, or is
it will be a different one, but at the same time for everyone.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they just
it won't be
at
2
this
p.m.
hour
for America and
Right.
Okay. So they issued a follow-up shortly after. I believe it was June 30th, 2 days after it was implemented. Thanks to the cooperation of all our players, the simultaneous logout measures currently being instituted have shown great effect, cutting login wait times during peak hours from what was previously several hours down to several tens of minutes. We sincerely thank you for your cooperation, which is funny because
like they are surprised as well.
that, but also funny that they say cooperation. It's not like we have a choice. Like, thank you very much for cooperating with us on this. Okay. Because of this situation, we will be ending the simultaneous logout measures on worlds where logins have stabilized. Oh, I forgot this. Once again, we would like to express our greatest appreciation for all your cooperation, which this ties into what I just said. Temporary simultaneous logout measures will continue for the following congested worlds and worlds that still require long waits for certain logins. We will continue to monitor the login situation and keep you informed of any changes to or ending of these measures as they occur. So currently, as of airing this episode, the logouts will continue on the JP data center on the JP data center on the servers Bahamut, Carbuncle, Chocobo, Mandragora, Shinryu, and Tonberry. Oh my god, that was lovely. The North American... I'm just gonna die here. North American data center, Balmung, and Gilgamesh. Those are the only 2 North American servers that will still have this placed on them. On the EU data center, is that every single one?
That's almost all of them, except
for
Louis
Leech.
Suarez.
Even Omega, is the new one.
Leech and Louis Suarez.
Cerberus, Moogle, Odin, Omega, Phoenix, Ragnarok, and Shiva. All of them are currently... wow, that's actually just...
What does that tell you about EU versus NA? Like, spread of population?
They got a lot less servers for probably the same amount of people. Or I don't know.
Yeah, that is true.
What's really interesting about this too is that it really shows you how much the NA population specifically goes to these 2 servers, nothing else, because those are both also on Aether. Primal, nothing. Primal isn't. Not a single server needs to be reset on Primal.
That's weird.
That's really crazy.
Yeah, it's because of like Balmung is like a famed server. Like everyone wants to go on Balmung just because it's Balmung, and of course Gilgamesh. So yeah, it's been hyped up too much, that server, those 2 servers.
It's true.
So yeah, so now you have to pay the price. Stop transferring to congested worlds.
Now they're gonna do it just to troll.
Yeah.
What they should do is, if the world gets congested, it halves the XP rate.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That would actually be
punish you. Punish you all.
Yeah. If you're on during this hour, you will earn negative EXP. You will level down.
Every time I kill an enemy, I lose a level.
It's Final Fantasy XI all over
Yeah,
again.
it is. Oh yeah. So yeah, please look forward to more measures if you're on one of these congested worlds. Yeah, poor RIP EU. Okay, so moving on to the reviews. I was a bit anxious for these reviews because reviews usually, like, if an MMO gets a bad review, that usually damages it for forever almost. And IGN posted its review a couple of days ago, and it's very impressive. I just want to point out that the original 1.0 review from IGN was scored at 5.5, calling it mediocre.
That seems kind of generous in all honesty.
It was pretty generous, yeah.
IGN is really generous in everything.
Yeah, well, yeah, they are. But
it's like they have a guy rating every fucking game 10 out of 10.
At the time,
that's how it works.
At the time, IGN was like the go-to place for, and you could argue that it still is. But I'll read the original just so you know how bad this review was. With its newest MMO, and if you watched Fallen Rise, you've probably recognized a few lines from this. With its newest MMO and its flagship franchise, Square Enix delivers a gigantic, beautiful fantasy world to explore. The flexible class system means you'll be able to mix and match abilities from many different roles so you can change your specialization at will. Much of the promise of the combat system and depth of the crafting mechanics are drowned, unfortunately, under a sea of interface and performance issues that hinder the experience at nearly every step. While there's a lot to consider when building your ideal class, there is far too little interesting structured content to chew on, resulting in an experience that quickly grows tedious and tiresome. All MMOs are designed to keep players logging in for long into the future, but at launch of Final Fantasy XIV's questing mechanic... But at launch, Final Fantasy XIV's questing mechanics feel more like a subway commute than a fun gameplay experience. Patches over the course of the next few months may address many of the technical issues, but for now, this is not a world worth visiting.
You know what's funny about that? Is
What?
none of that is still the case. They
Exactly.
completely like there's no cross class anymore, so you can't do that. It actually works. I mean, that's a big one.
Yeah.
It's really ironic seeing that like they're like, oh, patches may fix it. Well, if you fast forward 4 years later, they've just like, nah.
Yeah.
They scrapped all of that, and it's the exact opposite of what they originally reviewed.
Yeah. I think the reviewer expected more of 1.0 than what actually happened to it like over its life, because there's no way they could patch that up. So when it was relaunched, the score jumped to 8.6 and up great. That was what they called it, and then it was kept at 8.6 for Heavensward. Now with Stormblood, it jumped again to 9.2. Now calling it amazing. And the reasoning is the following. Stormblood doesn't do much to shake up the general design of Final Fantasy... Stormblood doesn't do much to shake up the general design Final Fantasy XIV has followed since its relaunch, but never before have its familiar elements worked quite so well. You'll find some boring side quests, yes, but it makes up for that flaw with an unforgettable story filled with moving cutscenes and acting, great new primal fights and dungeons, 2 wonderful new combat classes, and new lands that reward the explorer in us all. So the most important thing, I guess, is that this review put Stormblood's Metacritic score to 90, and I think it was 9.0, yeah, on the user reviews. That is a pretty big achievement for a game that literally started at the bottom. Okay, Maela thinks that score is too high.
I think it's a little bit too high, yeah.
Do you care to elaborate? Or do you want to save us from the hate comments?
I just
dangerous
feel
territory.
like Stormblood was... Yes, the story was good, but it wasn't such a departure from Heavensward that it would, push it up that high.
Because I slightly disagree, because and this I for some reason I agree very much with IGN. I have always thought that Heavensward was just a safe rehash of A Realm Reborn, and the reviews the scores are exactly the same for A Realm Reborn and Heavensward. I feel like that sort of mirrors my feeling. And I feel with Stormblood, they tried some different stuff. In Stormblood, they barely did. Compared to Stormblood, I mean, they did try new stuff, but it was familiar. It's hard to explain, but like in Heavensward, you sort of knew how things were gonna work. Here we have mechanics that we've never seen before in 14, and of course we have some we have seen, but those we have seen have also been tweaked a little, which is what they did in Heavensward. But the thing is that they did a lot of new stuff, like the Bardam's Medal second boss.
True. I mean, I agree with some parts of it.
Yeah, sorry.
Maela?
I was just going to say, I agree with some parts of it. Like the 2 new classes are leagues above Heavensward's ones.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, he even says in his review, it's the same. Basically, it's the same. It's even got the boring side quests, blah blah. But it's got a good story. I liked the Heavensward story. I liked the Stormblood story about the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of... I'm actually on the side of IGN for once, which is like a first for me. I think they actually, what they said is very accurate. It didn't change the game. They didn't really add anything necessarily new as far as like major gameplay stuff. but they did vastly improve the story. The music's better. The areas I think are way better designed. The fights so far, obviously we haven't seen raids yet, but they seem to be way better designed. And I'm actually kind of glad because obviously we're all fanboys. We're sitting here doing a podcast, and it is nice to have somebody who's like maybe not necessarily in it. I don't know who reviewed it, if they actually play it or whatever.
No idea.
But it's nice to hear, somebody kind of echo the sentiments from outside and say, wow, this game actually is improving, because I feel like it's improving. But again, I'm a fanboy. I would play it if it was kind of garbage still, like, exactly. I mean, Lukile, you played 1.0.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have. So, I mean.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true.
I'd like to say that some important point here is that when we were talking here before, the three of us, Maela said something that made me think a little bit, and it's like it's comparing this game to something like Baldur's Gate. Like it's the same score, and Baldur's Gate, and for instance another really good game, Persona 5, that has the same score in Metacritic. I have to say that I enjoyed Stormblood a lot, like I said in the last episode, but come on, you can't compare the feelings I got with Persona 5 to Stormblood.
I think you're obsessing
any other above 90 game.
I think you're obsessing a bit too much on the actual score. You have to. There are different games. You can't the way you score Persona does not.
No, I mean,
but I mean, it's being put in the same league as like masterpieces, like Half-Life.
Well, you guys got to think about it this way. Like Orange said, you can't compare the two, right? Because they're totally different genres of games. If you're looking at it solely as MMO, I think that's more fair.
I get your point,
compare it against other MMOs.
Yeah, you have to view it in the context of an MMO. So as an MMO, it's a.
But I mean the final feeling you get after completing the game.
Yeah,
it's not as powerful as the same I got with Persona 5 or any other above 19 game in general.
Yeah, I understand what you mean, but still,
it's been a great game. I enjoyed it, like it said in the last episode. I said it again, but you have to consider, like, I don't know how to explain this. It's pretty much what Maela said.
If you have a scoring system, it has to kind of go with everything else, doesn't it?
But you can't, like, that's like comparing a Minesweeper to Call of Duty, and then because the Minesweeper was great, it can never have a 9.2 because I didn't get the same feeling when I completed Minesweeper as I did with Call of Duty. That's the same thing. You can't. They have to give them different. I don't. Comparing Persona to an MMO, it doesn't make sense to me.
Persona 5.
Yeah, Persona 5. So let's say Persona 5 is 10. That means you can never give a game a 10 because nothing will beat Persona. You see what I mean? Because it's a different genre.
I know you have to rate according to the genre you're playing, but it's like
will an MMO ever give you, because of the restrictions that are in an MMO, you will probably never get that Persona feeling.
Stormblood, almost the best expansion ever made in the history of MMOs, according to the scores. And I think I must disagree with the scores.
Well, I mean, it's a review. We can't all agree.
I know. Although I already told you I'm not hating. I liked Stormblood. I have to make it clear, but I wouldn't say it's the best one.
We all know which you think are the best ones, Orange. But
I'd like to echo what Yazz said, though.
Get to that point.
Maela?
I'd like to echo what Yazz said, though, in the fact that because it has got such a high score, it's nice to see our MMO being up there.
Yeah.
Like, because it's all about like 1, 2, 3 MMOs. It's nice to see us finally being pushed up.
It also sort of solidifies its position as the second biggest MMO. Well, I don't know if that's true anymore, but I would assume that it is, at least here in the West.
Yeah.
So yeah, agree or disagree, it did get a 9.2 at IGN, so we just have to live with that. Although it does put a lot of pressure on Square Enix to deliver on the next expansion, because it shouldn't go below 9.2 next time, because that would look bad. So we'll see how that goes. The Garlemald expansion. It's a bit too early to talk about 5.0.
They first have to
definitely.
deliver the patches.
What?
They first have to deliver the patches after
That is
4.0.
True.
That's a very important point.
That's the real test. Okay. Let's move on from that. Let's talk about the Kotaku interview with Naoki Yoshida. It was a pretty long interview. I've taken out a couple of points from it that I think is important to discuss. This one intrigued me because this is from. Did I say that Kotaku? Yeah, I think I did. When I asked what else Yoshida had left to accomplish, he pointed to the story, a highlight of Final Fantasy XIV. The intricate, ongoing plot is the main reason the 14th Final Fantasy is so appealing to those of us who don't love MMOs, and it's one thing that Yoshida wants to complete before he ever thinks about retiring. There's this overarching story, and I've actually set a goal or endpoint for that arc, said Yoshida. That's one of the things I want to accomplish, is to be able to finish that narrative. How long will that be, I asked. I think we'd need at least another 2 more expansions, Yoshida said.
I found this really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's way too early to be talking about this stuff, but I'm going to do it anyways.
Yeah.
You can assume 5.0 would be Garle and stuff, right?
Yeah.
What would the second expansion be? You think that would wrap up the Ascian?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
going to the moon and Zodiac or whatever.
That might be when we're finally going to the moon. I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely going to be the Ascian ending.
God, they never mentioned the moon again, did they?
No, they didn't.
Well, what about the new world? I want to go there so
Oh,
bad.
yeah.
Mericidia too. Like, there's so much left that
Well,
I'm just
that'll
like,
be afterwards. That'll be like, oh, we've finished the story. Now we'll go and explore everything else. We'll milk them.
So
Mhm.
yeah,
start a new story arc.
Like they can delay the game wherever they want. They
Mm.
have a lot of content to deliver.
yeah, they've made Hydaelyn pretty big, so there's still a lot of content after those 2 expansions.
Will we need spaceships to visit the moon?
See, that's the question then. Can they can in this universe can they breathe in space?
Well, I
I mean,
guess
the
we'll find
Ascians.
out.
I would
The
assume
Ascians did.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Ascians aren't. They're not
Maybe-
limited to our petty bodies.
True.
You know,
With
they're
Kind of
like
True.
ether is space made
Maybe
of.
with the help of a spell like they did for water.
Mhm.
on the
Yeah.
water.
God.
Probably, yeah. Interesting that thinking about how space works in, in 14.
Right after 4.0 release. I
We're
love-
already thinking about
And then-
6.0.
Then we're gonna find out that the moon is made of monsters.
Oh yeah,
They're not gonna
it's gonna come down to Earth or
Yep.
to Hydaelyn. Yeah,
God, the second moon wasn't real either.
No.
all of our moons are fake.
Do we have a real moon?
We all know that Final Fantasy VIII has the most engaging plot ever.
Oh yeah, that is
Oh,
a real fever
That's
dream.
not.
Let's not get into that theory. So Yoshida leaving 14 is something we mentioned like briefly because it feels like it's so far away. But if you think about it, it's just 4 years if they follow this cycle. I wonder, like, when Yoshida leaves 14, will the game change, like, because he doesn't write the story, right? So
I think he just like does the sort of
he just approves it.
overarching plot of general ideas, really sort of high up ideas.
Yeah.
I would say that it depends on how much of the team would stay, you know?
Yeah.
Like if all the writers stay, if all the content designers, the encounter designers, if they all stayed, I feel like after 8 years, they would probably be confident enough in their abilities to be able to get through it without him, you know? Like I think he's like this, you know, this monolith for the game and everything like that. But I mean, they've had a lot of practice, right?
Yeah.
I think they would have the time to understand what he would want to do.
Yeah, the crew knows exactly what people want.
Mhm.
The only difference will be Yoshida not supervising them.
Yeah.
I think. So like it could change a little bit, I think, but
I think the new director would probably like to put his like touch on things to sort of make it known that there's a new sheriff in town. But
Yeah.
it'll be really difficult to fill Yoshida's shoes, though.
I think once Yoshida leaves, that's when they'll start developing the mobile version.
Oh God, please.
I think when Yoshida leaves, they're gonna put Tanaka back on it.
Oh yeah.
My
Bring
baby,
Tanaka
what have you
back.
done?
Whatever time responses. And wait for it.
Oh, cannot wait for the fatigue system returning. That's
Oh,
gonna be
yeah.
great.
Can't wait.
Yeah,
Imagine
maybe he'll
if
bring
you, like,
cross class.
remade the whole thing.
And you can pay real money
Yeah.
to get more.
A realm reborn, re-ruined.
Oh God, please don't hate on. He's an okay dude, but 1.0 didn't work. Let's just. There's a lot of people that will get angry at us for laughing at Tanaka.
He's a great game designer 15 years ago.
Yeah,
He's a fantastic Japanese man.
he he is.
He cooks really well.
He did 11. That is a big cred for him because that was until 14 at least the most profitable for a Final Fantasy title in existence.
Mhm.
So let's.
I like what somebody said in chat. Bring him back, but then just do the entire opposite of what he says.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I think the problem. I think if in a very absurd alternate universe where they put
I'm
Tanaka,
sorry I brought this up.
if they put Tanaka, 11 is still the most profitable, is it? Okay, well,
Over time.
yeah,
total.
over time, yeah. If they put Tanaka in charge in this alternate universe of mine,
What a tangent.
I forgot what I was about to say.
It's literally, I think we'll need 2 more sponsors, right? So we'll talk about 6.0. Can they breathe in space?
Oh, yeah.
What if Tanaka comes back?
Welcome to episode 50. Sorry, if they put Tanaka back in this, I have to finish this. If they put it, the problem would be in this alternate universe would be that he's replacing Yoshi-P. Have you seen Tanaka in interviews?
No, what's he
He's
like?
like,
He doesn't give a shit.
he's like
Yeah.
someone's first stone statue. It's like a very he in all interviews
His face
I've
doesn't
seen.
change.
In every interview I've seen with him, he sits like this. Blah, 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 and then he talks. Yoshi-P is like more, no hate on Tanaka, but
What if he's watching you right now?
sorry.
God, can you
Tanaka-san.
imagine the live letters?
Apologize.
I'm sorry.
Apologize.
I
Live
apologize to Tanaka, but I just thought the way he acted in the 1.0 interviews were really weird.
Oh,
It's probably
God.
because he regretted life at that point.
We're not a comedy
I mean,
show.
You get amazing quotes like, "So Tanaka, why isn't there a jump in the game?" He literally went, "The fuck? No, we don't need it. Shut up." I'm like, okay, sorry I asked.
Who needs to jump?
Yeah, he was so like,
It needs
What?
to have a function. Like to him, it was like jumping doesn't add anything to the game in his mind. So
right.
why jump over a fence when you can walk around it and look at all the copy paste flowers they placed around it?
Yeah.
So that was his idea. Anyway,
Well,
enough
sorry
about let's- we just talked about Tanaka replacing Yoshi-P.
Oh no, this next question
We
is
talk more
controversial,
about Tanaka
Lukile.
than Yoshi-P.
Oh shit, okay. Well, we're gonna go from the one controversy to the other. On whether Final Fantasy XIV will ever change its old areas the way Terra has? Sorry, World of Warcraft.
It's Black Desert.
Are you mocking WoW?
I'm not mocking. Wow.
Don't do that again, okay?
Orange is triggered. I'm
Not
just
in front of me.
On whether Final Fantasy XIV will ever change its old areas the way World of Warcraft has. There we go. Yoshida answered, "This is my personal thought and not anything that's set in stone," aka Tanaka. "Looking at some of the areas in A Realm Reborn, our original 2.0 areas. That was when we were making up to the original 1.0 and rebuilding the world from scratch in such a short time. So if you look back at it now, we can't enable flying. A lot of the side quests have been so accumulated that it's become a hassle. Now that the development team has game experience of running the MMO, I do notice a lot of points that could be improved upon, and to be quite honest, it would be nice if I could rebuild the areas for Realm Reborn."
Completely agree.
So what
Even
does
if it was just opening up like the full, like just Thanalan, just the Black Shroud.
But what does his answer imply, though? Does it imply that they're actually sort of low-key planning it?
Yeah,
Or
I think so.
I think it's like if I had a lot of more time, I will do it. But we don't have it.
Yeah.
I think that's.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting that too.
If they were about to do that thing, like rebuilding the 2.0 areas, I will like put a system where everyone could go to those areas again.
Yeah. Like but the
I don't want to compare it to other game because the game has already done that, but because people will hate at me. But
and I don't really think it'd be, if they were to do it, I don't see it being like Cataclysm anyways.
no.
I see them doing it in a different way. What would you guys want to see if they were to do this? I know for me personally, I would love the rest of Kurthus opened up.
Yeah.
And as we were talking about before the show, the fact that it's been mentioned many times in game that Kurthus is thawing. It's becoming back. It is slowly reverting back to 1.0. I would love to see that. I don't really know how they'd pull it off, because then what do you have, like 2 versions of Kurthus that you can teleport to when, like...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's that.
Kind of like 11, where you have like the back in time versions of the same things.
Yeah.
I don't really know how they
kind of don't want that back.
I don't want that either.
No.
But I would love to see the rest of those zones. Like, I would also love to see the Beast Tribe zones in more detail as well. What would you guys want to see if they were to do that?
That's I totally want that Kurthus thing to happen, though. I want to see the green Kurthus again. Is there like
but that will be a lot of work.
Yeah.
But
if you don't, again, alternate universe. What do you? They're doing it. What do you want to see? What would you want to see changed?
Right. Yeah.
I would. I can't. Well, Mordona is an. I would like Mordona is like a croissant. It's a weird shape. I swear, I'm not high.
What?
If you look at how Mordona is shaped, it doesn't. It triggers me that it's not round like it was
Like
in
a
1.0,
croissant.
like a croissant. It's not. It's not the whole circle. It's just half the circle. Please make a soundbite of me saying.
What?
Oh my God, Maela, Vanadar. If you look at, can you? Okay, Mordona is just a half
I know what
circle.
Mordona looks like. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got the 2 halves to it.
Yeah, so if you are in one end and the quest asks you to go to the other end, you have to fucking go forever.
Yeah, it's great.
While in 1.0, it was circular. So they could have 2
God,
Aetherites, maybe.
at 1.0 you spend more time
1.0.
holding your chocobo than going to.
It's like you're the 1.0 guy.
I am the 1.0 guy. I don't know if you've noticed.
If they let you fly in Mordona, would it bother you that it's croissant shaped?
Yeah, because what is preventing me from flying to the other? Like, what happened to that other part of Mordona? I don't understand quite what happened there. I don't think it's ever been explained. Did that just disappear?
It's just unmapped.
Yeah. So if you're flying, it's just going to be like a big block. Like, you
Yeah.
can't go here. So that doesn't make sense to me. So if they were to remake Mordona, I wish they just made it round again.
What about something like Cardinal Flats?
Oh yeah, that too.
Seeing that actually, I mean, obviously you can go
Technically,
right.
They really sort of lost something with that by making
Yeah,
it PvP.
they
I'm
wasted that
unhappy about
area.
that.
yeah.
That will also mean create new dungeons. Like they will have to remake the dungeons. They won't be the same.
I think they could just move the location. The
Yeah,
dungeons
that's
don't really play on what it looks like on the outside. Because what's
And
in
then-
Mordona? I can't remember what dungeons. There's Castrum,
Keeper
Right.
of the Lake.
Yeah, and Keeper of the
Keeper of the
Lake.
Lake.
Actually, you bringing up Castrum,
And Crystal Tower.
Yeah, Crystal
right?
Tower.
Crystal Tower. You bringing up Castrum is something I've actually always wanted. I would actually like for them to get rid of the Castrums that are there at the moment,
Hmm.
because they've been there for so long, and it doesn't make sense that they're there anymore. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
That they're still. We drove them out of Eorzea
Oh,
4
yeah.
years ago, and yet there's still more Garlean soldiers walking around than you can count. Like, I've always found that kind of strange.
But I mean, what if you left a side quest about that area
Mm.
forever, and you will want it to do it again? I
Yeah.
mean, do it. Actually, do it.
But
Well,
okay,
I
you
think
wouldn't
that's.
have that place for the quests.
I think that's where it gets complicated. Is you'd almost need 2 versions. of
Yeah.
the same thing, you know?
Well, several, yeah.
Yeah, but I think, is Mordona considered Eorzean territory though?
Mhm.
It is. Isn't
Slap
it like
bang in the middle, isn't it?
borderline? Like just because? Well, I guess it is. Because there's no legal city-state in Eorzea.
True.
I mean,
Red
it doesn't. It's not claimed by anybody specifically,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, it's still on the Eorzean continent, right? So,
Right. Yeah,
I
guess.
mean, that's it's kind of how you'd have to. I mean, same with Cardinal Flat. Nobody owns Cardinal Flats, hence why the PvP thing exists.
Mhm.
As shitty of a region as that is, but yeah, it would. I mean, yeah, it's technically an Eorzea.
Yeah, I guess. I would also want swimming enabled in every single lake on the map.
Yeah.
Because there are still areas, as we talked about in the previous episode, that you can't swim in.
I
Yeah.
think swimming is still possible in the maps we have now, but flying, I think it's not, because
Flying.
that's why they added a new mount speed, a higher one.
Yeah.
I think
That's a response for it.
I think swimming would be easier to add for them.
Yeah.
Because imagine if you flew up and you would look down on stuff and they would have to actually add all those textures, you know, like when you're seeing one side of the mountain, it would be like just a void.
I'm pretty sure all areas have a lot of low textures, like behind where you cannot see it.
I mean, that
So
has been proven as well.
They
that
will
people-
have to remake them.
Yeah, if you go too far up or too like out of, if you're in an area that you couldn't access while walking, you will just see like some textures just disappearing and things just being see-through and all that.
But actually, I'm really fine with the map we have now for 2.0.
Three-
I've seen it too much. I've been there too much, but
yeah,
I'm fine. I wouldn't like it to change.
there's nothing wrong with the Realm Reborn maps in my eyes right now.
I think
Except for that they're a little bit small. You feel after Heavensward and
But yeah,
Stormblood, they
but
feel
for
a bit small.
for a player who starts playing the game, it's like
For them,
awesome.
it's probably cool. But
Yeah,
I think more what I would want is actually not for them to remake any zones. I would like them to just fill out the rest of Eorzea.
just
Because
fix
the
it,
way
yeah.
right, or yeah, and like
Oh,
just
you
add
mean
the zones that,
Oh yeah.
right, the zones that didn't necessarily get added originally. Because I feel like it's very much, hey guys, we're done with Eorzea
Hmm.
and we're going elsewhere now. But there's so much left that we just have not been, which sort of bothers me to a degree, especially again referencing 1.0, seeing all the stuff that you could go to. I feel like Eorzea was, in a sense, while not nearly as detailed, it was more, you could actually explore more of it.
Yeah.
it's bigger.
Yeah.
It's bigger, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. One complaint that I had when I started playing was that the map was not as big as other MMOs that I've played before. And like I remember playing the beta and thinking like, oh my god, they have only allowed us to go to north, Thanalan, south, but there will be more. I'm pretty sure, but they weren't. There weren't more areas.
They conveniently destroyed some parts of some zones, so that was obviously done to so that because they had to make all of these maps, because none of these maps are from 1.0. All of them are brand new. Thank God. So we have like some zones that we'll probably never access again, which is a little bit sad. I don't think Kurthus is ever going to be expanded. I don't see when they would do that, because
We'll just get them in.
yeah yeah, we only get them in PvP maps.
That's what we got so far.
Like West Shroud, rip.
And
Oh yeah, and
Shatter.
yeah,
That's east.
that's
east.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like all the broken or the zones that we haven't been able to access in the Realm Reborn that we could access in 1.0 are just going to be PvP areas from now on. But that's fine. I'm fine with what we have.
Yeah.
Okay, so this last point in the there are two more points. In the interview, they continue on what they can do now that they've ditched the PlayStation 3 version of Final Fantasy XIV. Yoshida answers, one of the biggest challenges we had was the hardware trying to access files, the I.O., or in and out. The speed at which some of the files are being read on the PS3 hardware and then transferred into memory was slower compared to some of their other platforms. This is a 10-year-old plus piece of equipment. Where that had caused an issue for Final Fantasy XIV was that, for example, if the player is moving across the field at a relatively fast speed, some of the NPCs or the other characters would not show up as smoothly as on other platforms. Because the speed at which the files were being read was slow, you did see a difference in the way it's being displayed on screen. So there's always had to be a cap so we could accommodate for that hardware capabilities. But now that we are phasing out that platform, not having that bottleneck anymore, we have made improvements on usabilities. One example is, as of 4.0 Stormblood, your ground mounts can now travel faster. Yeah, I guess. The PS3 was running on 32-bit, so
that explains the when you saw players like running in the same spot. Like, do you know what I mean? Like you were in a dungeon and you saw a player like was running like and not moving. Okay. Do you know what I mean now? It's a bit difficult to explain.
Isn't that just lag?
You can also do it intentionally.
Oh yeah.
If you tap run really, really fast on your character, you're not moving, but on everybody else's running but not going.
Yeah.
It's a thing you notice really fast, because when I made a friend play the game, he noticed in the first dungeon, like, hey, why is this guy like running in the same spot? Is he lagging? So I guess now they got rid of it.
I mean, it's also like the amount of time it takes to thing. Like, you'd go into a dungeon and you'd see like 3 players like kind of sitting there waiting, and a minute and a half later, the other guy would pop in. And there was nothing wrong. He wasn't lagging. There was nothing going on.
Yeah. Because
it was the same for AoEs. Like the AoE was about to disappear, and the other guy hadn't even gone out of it yet. But
yeah.
He didn't get hit by the AoE.
I don't know if that had anything to do with the PS3.
I don't think so. I think that's just lag.
I think that might just be lag, because I think.
But that's happening every now and then.
Yeah, but that's just bad players. But
not wrong.
What it means specifically is like for things to load in. Like, you remember this, Orange, when you had to wait for when you start a dungeon and 3 people load in, the 4th person is still not loaded in, so it's just like grayed out on the party list, and you're waiting.
But that can also happen if you have a really bad PC.
Yeah, but the PS3 was just basically a really bad PC.
Really bad PC. Yeah.
So load times were incredibly high. And sometimes I know a lot of PS3 players had problems like entering zones and for the NPCs to appear, because you entered the zone, it took forever to load, first of all, and then as you got in, the NPCs had to load as well, and that would take a while as well. So
and trying to hunt.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Hunts were, as far as I know, impossible at the end. So so that's what they've sort of fixed by phasing out PS3. I am sure there's more, but for some reason they are protecting the PS. Like, they never talk about what really held the game back with PS3. Maybe we'll know in 10 years. They might tell us exactly what PS3 held us back.
We all know it's the RAM.
Yeah,
we all know.
Yeah, we do. It's weird that he didn't mention the RAM. He just talked about how fast it was loaded in. But we've seen clear changes from when the PS3 left in the UI.
You couldn't change out the storage in a PS3, right?
Oh god, I would assume you could, actually.
Because then what if you put it on a solid state or something?
Yeah.
You could have external hard drives.
Yeah, you could, yeah.
So, I mean,
I think it was just yeah, that's a good point. Maybe they don't do that in Japan. I don't know. But I mean, most people wouldn't. That's the point. You know?
Right, that's fair. Yeah. I mean,
you buy the console and now it's plug and play. So yeah. Okay, we have to talk about this too, because they asked on bringing Final Fantasy XIV to Xbox and Switch. And I'm sorry, guys, I don't have good news. Yoshida answers, I've said this on several occasions, but it hasn't changed. We would love for as many players to be on 14 as possible. Conversations have been had with Mr. Phil Spencer of Microsoft and the upper management teams of Nintendo, but I have proposed a condition every time I speak with any platform manufacturers. It's that the game has to have the capability of cross-platform to play. Of course, with an MMORPG, once it launches, and starts going into live services and operations, there will be a community. No matter how small it dwindles down to, we have to be responsible for taking care of those communities. It would become an obstacle if the first party or manufacturer changed how patches are being implemented or online regulations. Some of our external parties' regulations don't have MMORPGs in mind in terms of how they're regulating their online activities. Those can become a hurdle when we consider operating 14 for an extended period of time. So when I talk to those first-party companies, I ask them, do you have the capability to prepare for that? Do you have the resolve that you're going to make sure to take responsibility and take care of those? Do you have that willingness? If we are able to come to some sort of agreement, a handshake, so to speak, or if it does end up being that, unfortunately, we can't do a handshake with Final Fantasy XIV, either way, we'll make sure to communicate with our players. But we have been tenacious. We've been trying to keep at it and be persistent about our conversations.
Yeah, that's it.
Wait. Oh.
Aww.
Triedge, thank you for...
Thanks,
I forgot.
Triedge.
We have a sub button now. Triedge, thank you for subscribing. Right.
I gotta give them a lot of credit for this. Like that's really awesome. And honestly, it's the reason why it'll probably never end up coming to Xbox, because they're so, you know, they will not allow players to play on the same on playing the same game on different platforms together. They've just been so against that.
But that's possible in other games. Like Elder Scrolls Online, and I think Rocket League.
Does it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I read that info.
From Xbox to PC?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I
Microsoft
don't.
are very against this.
Yeah,
Very,
like they have a
very
thing.
against this.
They have a thing in their clause with most people that it's if you do not have the option to play only on Xbox specific servers, they won't allow the game on there.
Yeah, there is Minecraft, as Cleanway points out in chat. That one is cross-platform.
Okay, no.
But that one is owned by Microsoft, though.
The one is not. I got.
I mean, that's a Microsoft-owned game, so I guess that would make sense.
What did they bread?
Because you have to remember that on PC, Xbox Live is being implemented, like slowly being like baked into Windows 10.
That's a really good point. Like, I guess they must have changed their way of going about it, because as somebody said, like, yeah, you could play 11 on all three major platforms.
Well, can you now? I think 11 ended the
well,
service,
no, you can't,
but yeah. But they did it really early on. That was a long time
You played
ago.
on the original Xbox with other people. So
must have been an early thing, and then they decided, actually, no, we don't want this
I
anymore.
think that's
Okay,
something.
so Elder Scrolls Online is not have different servers for each platform, but Rocket League has not.
Right.
Even Switch is playing with PC and PS4 players or Xbox One. So I don't really know what's happening.
I'm okay with Xbox. I'm not okay with Switch.
Yeah, I'm
Switch is like going back to PS3 problems.
Yeah, because although the Switch is more powerful than the PS3, it's just barely like it's. I feel like the PS4 is more powerful than the Switch. We all know that, and I
Switch
feel like
is after all a mobile.
Yeah, it is. It's a
console.
And
it has a mobile chip.
Yeah, so it's like they're adding a future bottleneck. Like they have to. Oh God, my brain. I can't even think about it. But it's I think it's weird that they want it on the Switch. I can't imagine playing 14 on a handheld device.
at 480p.
You have a Pro controller. That I have to say that.
Yeah, that's true. You can, but I mean, Switch.
I'm sure it would be.
Yeah, someone in chat is saying that Black Desert Online will be cross PC, PS4, and Xbox. Wow.
Point for Black Desert. The Steam release has Steam specific servers, so I'm assuming the Xbox one will have Xbox servers.
No. He's saying that it will be cross PC, PS4, and Xbox.
Right. Let's not talk about every game in existence right now. I know it's an interesting topic, but yeah.
Now, what does I don't own a Switch, but could you plug a keyboard and mouse into that?
Oh, good question.
I don't know.
Probably not.
It's probably
Because
just...
It's a Nintendo keyboard.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, you'd have to get a specific Nintendo.
And it has like 5 buttons. Hello, goodbye, I like you.
It becomes the feast.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Keyboard.
Yeah. Try PS4 crossplay and play XIV on Vita. Yeah. It runs like shit. I know that. But I know people use the Vita. Well, I don't know. No one uses the Vita. Let's be honest here.
I did. I did.
People, do you still? Are there?
It's right there.
Really? Because
I don't play it very often.
Didn't they?
Do you
Yeah,
use it
exactly.
for
That's my point.
gathering or crafting?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
I would
People-
use it for gathering. Yeah.
Or when while you're
It's
taking
like
your
when
dump
you're about to go to sleep, you want
Yeah.
to, and you want
or
to
going to sleep.
do some crafting.
Why are you going to sleep? Play the Vita.
Yeah.
Lying down in your bed, but not in this one.
But okay, so it worries me that they're still sort of like pushing the Nintendo version here. It's clear that they are. So we'll just have to wait and see.
The Switch will come first than the Xbox One, since it's a Japanese company.
But I still think that they had to make like adjustments to the actual client to make it fit on the Switch. I have like I can't. No, let's not go there. Let's move on.
2D.
We'll
It
know.
will happen. You have to be prepared for it.
We'll know when we get closer to the, or I don't want to say closer to the dates because we don't know if it's gonna happen. But yeah, whatever. We'll know if it happens. Okay, so let's talk about the campaigns. There are 2 campaigns currently going. The Stormblood launch campaign launched today. Basically, if you're subscribed for 90 days, you get a pretty sweet-looking airship mount, and that is between. You have to be subscribed for 90 days between today, July 1st, to Saturday, the 30th of September.
Does that require you paying your subscription within that time, or does
That's
that?
what I was going to ask.
Yeah, or does it?
Because they did mention at one point in the night, it's like, we will take into account anything you've had like during this period, but it's very vague.
I think you just have to pay the 90 days.
You have.
Well, but there's people who pay 6 months at a time with
Yeah.
Krista,
Yes.
so they wouldn't be able to get it. If they paid, like, I paid my subscription a few days before, like a few days ago.
yes.
So I paid, I think 90 days.
Yeah.
So,
I
or
would-
does it just?
I would
count the
assume that as long as you have a subscription for that time,
Yeah.
I think that's how they have to. Because as you said, people do buy it in advance. That's a very common thing. So, yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I think.
But it says subscribe for 90 days.
Yeah, but
In-
you are. Wait, if I right now I am subscribed for 30 days. Oh wait, yeah, shit. Huh. That's.
If I'm
like
just going to leave it as it is, and if after this I don't somehow get it, I'm leaving.
Riot. We'll just riot.
Yeah, because my subscription renewed a couple of days ago. So if I don't get it, I'm gonna die as well. So
That would basically screw over everyone who's been playing since beta.
yeah,
Yeah.
But why don't you just buy a
I think
time card? And that
as
would
long
work.
as you've had a subscription, I mean, because I've paid a few days ago, my subscription is running right now. So this is my day 3 of my subscription. So the days will just, I think they'll just tally up the days that you
I
have
would
paid.
assume so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't I use time cards orange? Because I live.
Oh yeah, Canada. Hashtag Canada restrictions. Okay. That's that. Oh yeah, it's important to note that what was it? Free play trial periods, of course, does not count. And then there's the Welcome Back to Eorzea campaign. That one started June 19th with the launch. It lasts until July 20th. So that's only 20 days to go. In commemoration of the launch of Stormblood, we're excited to welcome adventurers back with the Welcome Back to Eorzea campaign. Pick your adventures back with the Welcome Back to Eorzea... What? Oh, I just read the same line again. Pick up your adventures where you left off with special items that can be exchanged for item level 260 equipment during the campaign period. I found the... So, to get this... Players who have subscribed to Final Fantasy XIV prior to January 15th, 2017, and have not logged into the game launcher between Monday, January 16th, and Sunday, June 11th, 2017. That's a
It's Square Enix.
that's a
Just
very
like-
strange, like, why January 15th?
that's when
This is
3.5 was released.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it's before 3.5.
And obviously you've got to be an Aries. And your eyes have to be green.
When logging into the game with an eligible character, you will be given 10 silver chocobo feathers that you can use to exchange for item level 260 gear, body and legs, and item level 230 weapons.
That's terrible.
That's
2 bits of gear and a 230 weapon. That's really
And a
nice.
230 weapon? Why is the
Thanks.
gear 260 and not the
Thanks,
weapon?
Square Enix.
and the entire chocobo feeder system is awful. Players don't know what to do with them.
I would buy
well, at
the
least-
die and sell the die.
At least
and
it
buy
says
that
silver chocobo feathers can be exchanged via the Calamity Salvager NPC
Yeah,
located
it
in each
says
city state.
it here, not when I play. Oh, I can play again. Let's play. What the fuck is this? That's what they are going to say. So I don't know. It's just weird again.
It's if you have a friend that hasn't played since 3.5, this might be a good time to bring them back. At least they
I'm gonna
get,
try.
yeah. At least it gets, they get some good gear.
They
But
get
this
some
is
gear that you can
useless
replace
gear
in the
though.
First quest.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. It doesn't give you anything though, does it?
No.
No, it's just for new
I
players.
want.
Not
I
like
want
a-
gold chocobo feathers. I need my Twin Tanya, dude.
Yeah.
I'm so close. I need
Yeah.
it.
I got lucky, and a free company member wanted a code. Like, do you remember
Yeah,
Nate?
yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hey, why don't you use mine?" And I got Quintania by that.
Oh, you're lucky.
Jealous.
Yeah, I have it. I have it too. I think. I can't remember. Yeah, I do. I have it.
Well, screw you guys.
Okay, so let's talk about patch 4.01, the first Stormblood content patch. Well,
Ooh.
yeah, well, it is a content patch. We don't. There's no patch notes, obviously, but we know that we're getting Omega, the Bend of Time Omega, and
Normal only.
normal only. So if we're to look at, I mean, we're still in the spoiler-free part of our. This one's also going to be as spoiler-free as possible, but oh shit, it's difficult to talk about now.
It is.
I mean,
It
I
is.
think we can say spoiler-free light now. I mean, we're something happens during a certain part of the game, and you fight a certain thing.
Thing and stuff.
Yeah, stuff
Yeah,
happens.
it's
with a
very
certain thing.
difficult now, Lukile, right? We either have to just say it or we don't. I mean,
It's okay, but anyway, so it's
because
gonna be a
this
great.
changes the whole raid series.
It's a great raid. It's gonna be great. You do the thing and stuff, and it's awesome. Okay, I wanted to talk about how that particular fight, because we thought something in that fight, or actually the whole fight, was gonna be related to the raid in some way.
I don't know if you should say the things you're saying.
Right, let's just say,
Yeah.
right, Omega itself is what this raid series is
Yes.
about. It's just
I'm
Omega.
fairly sure
So it's just
Omega.
a little bug thing.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
what are the other 3 bosses?
So it's obviously not. So I'm pretty sure the last one is X-Death or something.
The last one will be Omega. The 4th boss will be
Oh,
Omega
yeah.
Winter.
Of the first series. Well,
The
no, it's
fir-
got to be the last series.
Oh
Sorry.
wait, sorry. What are we
Well,
talking about? Oh,
what
the
is happening?
fights in the first. Okay, hold on. Let's
The raid
establish.
series is called Interdimensional Rift. The first 4 bosses of it is the Omega tier.
Is it called the Interdim? Isn't it called the Bend of Time
Isn't it-
Omega?
It's the Interdimensional Rift, the Bend of Time Omega.
Oh my
But
god!
didn't
Very
they say the
complicated.
first? Didn't they say the first set was called like Delta or something like that?
What?
So many names.
I'm
It
gonna-
definitely said the
research.
first section is.
The equivalent of like Gordius, right? You know, it's called like Gordius minus.
So Gordius is Omega.
Oh, I thought they called it like Delta or something like that.
No.
Is this
The first
confirmed?
bit, the
I don't
first
know.
bit was Omega. I'm pretty confident. The whole raid
Okay.
series is the Interdimensional Rift.
No, where do you get? I can't remember that being really.
Yeah, that was in
No,
like
that is-
FanFest.
That is what the whole thing is called.
Yeah,
yeah.
but
So
the first
section will be
The
Omega.
The
first
Bend of
section
Time Omega.
is
Mhm.
called the Bend of Time.
There we go.
The whole thing
That's
can't
all
be for Omega.
So the
So yeah,
first,
so it is confirmed. It's Delta. The first band is called Delta.
Christ.
so we're gonna do bends now.
So what? Are we fighting like one of his legs at a time?
We don't
Oh,
know,
well,
Mala. Why are we
is
so fired
Omega-
up? We don't even know what we're talking about.
Is Omega boss 4 or boss 12?
Oh, that's okay. I think.
I'm gonna throw something crazy. It's boss 8.
All right, calm down, Yaz.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
I don't think Omega will be the last boss.
No, if the whole series is about Omega, this is going to be Alexander 2.0. It's going to be awful.
But I mean, Omega is why we're in there, though.
I'll put it this way: if it's gonna be like 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
You fight Neo Shinryu. You fight it's like Omega something. It has like a different name. Once you beat both of them, you can fight Enuo. You also fight X-Death way early, but he's like chump change. But yeah, so maybe the last set is like post Omega stuff. I wouldn't be surprised to see Enuo in there though.
Oh, this is so.
See, originally, I thought it was going to be Omega, Shinryu, and X-Death.
Oh dear.
Mm.
Let's just talk about it, Lukile. We can say his name.
Can we? Can we?
Yeah, but perhaps it's.
Yes.
I will wait 1 week.
Perhaps Omega will
But
be.
do you think he's gonna be there? But I feel like
Yeah, I mean.
it felt kind of final when we did the thing with the thing.
Sake.
Spoiler-free.
Let's just
Spoiler-free episodes are difficult. I know.
It could be. I was saying
Wait 1 week.
a different version of the same thing. That's possible. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
Let's
that's
just talk about
the thing in the thing we did in the thing. I think the thing we were in was I might have been related to the interdimensional rift.
maybe.
Yes, the second part
Of the thing. The second part of the thing was probably there.
The thing is that
You're
we know what we're
confused.
talking
I know
about.
what you're talking about.
Okay, so do you not know what we're talking about, Orange?
I got lost in the entire topic. I don't know what you're saying right now.
Señor Pela. Sorry, I was trying to say it in
What?
Spanish.
That's a really cheap insult.
Calm now.
We're
This is
talking.
the episode of Orange being triggered.
This is just the trigger episode. We're talking about the thing that happened at near the end of.
Yeah, I reached.
Yeah, that thing that you do at the end with the thing.
Yeah.
The second phase of that.
Oh yeah. Okay, now I got it.
This is just us communicating to each other in code, hoping that no one else knows what we're talking about.
I apologize.
Isn't that just the
audience.
gist of this podcast?
Pretty much? Pretty much.
This is the weirdest episode I think I've done. This section right here. We talked about Tanaka taking over for Yoshi-P, talking about going to the moon. We're talking about 6.0, and now we're talking about the thing that happened, that might
Well,
happen.
I think, okay, let's talk about like 1 to 4. So if Omega's not going to be in 1 to 4, who are we fighting in 1 to 4?
Yeah, who's going to be the first one? Because there's going to be an
Are we
introduction.
sure that we are getting 1 to 4 and not like 1 to 3 or 1 to 5?
I would
think-
assume.
It's a good point, but I assume 1 to 4.
An easy
Since
way
Evans
out
would copy pasta.
would be in Final Fantasy V. I think there was actually, you know what? There might have been 12 things. There's 12 monsters that you have to go fight throughout the interdimensional rift. I think there might be 12, which would be strange because that's the exact amount we need. I would see it. I mean, obviously, some of them can't be things like.
What? You just cut out.
Oh, sorry. Things like Twintania actually come out of the interdimensional rift in 5, so there's things that would have to be excluded.
Yeah.
But there's a lot.
No, go on. Sorry.
There's a lot of very easy things that they could choose from if they wanted to have, filler bosses and stuff like that. There's I think it's 13 or 12 different monsters that you fight in the interdimensional rift.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean, as nice as it would be to have sort of like a real throwback to 5, it kind of still has to make sense within 14. It wasn't the interdimensional rift like the bosses you'd already fought in 5 and they come back?
Some of them.
Yeah.
Some of them.
So could we maybe have some of the bosses we've already fought come back?
I mean, one in particular is probably almost guaranteed, which is Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
Gilgamesh almost has to be in there.
I'd be a bit disappointed if it at least didn't make an appearance in there. He should.
I mean, he's the character that started the whole interdimensional rift thing throughout the entire franchise.
Yeah.
So
wasn't that because that's how we got around to all the different worlds.
he was banished. He started in 5, was banished to the interdimensional rift, and then from there popped to all the games. And
so I'm pretty
That's
sure.
really meta.
Very, very much. I mean, supposedly Shinryu and Omega also hop to. It gets more complicated.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see then. But
4 days, 3. Oh, yeah.
Do you think it will have like a version of Forced? If he keeps coming back
they
every
keep adding
single
that as a joke. They did that in Alexander, so maybe they make a new version of the Faust. So we have to fight an annoying.
No.
Honestly, probably.
Yeah.
He's useful though. He's a very good DPS.
It's useful.
He is.
It's useless.
No, it's very useful because if you can't beat Force, you can't beat the encounter.
Yeah.
And it saves a lot of time. No, it saves time because you're not going to just fight the encounter thinking you can beat it and you can't.
I can tell you that
Force
it
is
would
very
be
useful
after the first wipe of a really
no,
bad
you'll
party.
leave after the first wipe, Orange, but in Savage, it's useful having a DPS to check at the start.
Yeah. Because if you can't get past the Faust, there's no point.
I still think that it would be awesome if they allowed only people who have been in the how is it called, the dummy thing in outside.
Yeah, Stone.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah, to join SoH.
Yeah, I agree.
That's actually could.
You mean like they have to complete that challenge?
Yeah.
Yeah, if they are good enough to.
I have never done that. I don't think I have it unlocked.
Yeah, me neither. It's
I've done it, and it's actually
we don't do SoH like hard players, but that would be a good DPS check for everyone.
Because we're hardcore players here, so we don't need
I mean,
that.
in reality, that's all Faust is. He's
That's
just a striking. I mean, there's no mechanics to it. Right?
No, you just have to
Dodge
heal
AoEs.
and DPS.
heal
That's all.
checks,
Yeah.
DPS
Counter
checks.
spawns.
Not really tank
fine.
checks,
Not really.
but healer checks and DPS checks. It's very useful.
Yeah.
But he just kept coming back every time.
Add like a raid segment in the whole of Novice. A level 15 guy just, oh my god, thrown into Savage.
Yeah.
I still dream that they were unified, the 4 turns, but that's not happening.
Oh, like in one big go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that will make immersion so good.
I agree with you.
Like
'cause it
having
kind
to
of-
live after defeating one boss.
it breaks it up slightly too much, making it seem a little bit less than it is.
I mean, technically, if you look at the Savage one, it is sort of connected, but it's connected with the
The tubes. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
But I mean,
The Savage versions actually take a little bit out.
they do.
The normal versions have the ad, like the ad packs.
Yeah.
The trash
True.
mod
There's
packs.
actually more,
And then
yeah.
the Savage ones
True.
don't have trash mod packs, so it takes even
true.
more out.
Yeah.
What you're saying, like they're connected, but I mean they're not. You
Because
know.
I felt like at least with Coil, that felt more like it was because when you've finished
you
a
keep just-
turn, you could just proceed.
Well, and like you go down 3, you land on the elevator.
Yeah.
On the elevator. Yeah, I totally get what you're. I don't really
In
know.
Alexander, it's just the first of the song, the heart of the song. You don't know where you are.
Yeah.
That's true.
The
That
only
is
time you know where you are is the one
I
where you're on
have
top of his
no
head.
idea where I was in those raids.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think that they're ever going to make them connected.
No.
No.
No, it's not happening. It's the same formula, so
Yeah.
pretty sure it's.
Yeah.
I mean, they did the same for Dungeons Trials, so it's
Yeah.
not
Right.
changing.
Okay. The second thing we might be getting on Thursday is the yellow scripts, although I can't
No.
confirm that anywhere.
Oh, the yellow. Okay.
No.
I expect
No.
I read the patch notes before. No, the show notes before, but I'm gonna say no when we're live. Yeah, I think it makes sense to put them out on Thursday. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. It also makes sense to wait until we get the actual tomestones in 2 weeks.
You were saying, Maela, that they're not capped, right?
They're not
They're
caps,
not
which is
caps.
the
So
only
are we
good thing
getting-
about them.
Are we getting a second version that's going to be capped, or no? Are they just doing
No.
away with cap script?
Doing away with caps.
Finally.
They've learnt.
They've learned. So yeah, those are the only two things we know for sure that we're getting. I'm guessing we're getting some fixes to the game. There's some sorely needed fixes.
I don't know why they didn't add the new Aquapolis in this patch.
Agreed, yeah.
I agree.
It's more fun than...
It is a bit strange that
It's like adding the casual or not hardcore content in this patch, and the next one will be for hardcore players.
If you could call Aquapolis hardcore, it's not exactly.
Well,
pretty.
Well, maybe it's a hardcore version, and
maybe it's like
we cannot beat the rooms.
That's where they put all the Fausts.
The new.
Oh god.
It's just endless Fausts.
It's all
waves
Alexander.
of Fausts.
Yeah.
Every monster is a dragon. It's Nidhogg. Everything's Nidhogg.
Okay. Nidhogg. That's where he is. Okay.
It's sewers.
New Aquapolis is Nidhogg's guy.
Yeah. I actually expected the new map or the Aquapolis thing. I can't remember what it's called. Canals.
You better have a new map.
Maps are very cheap at the moment on our server.
Yeah.
So maybe we should stock up at some
How
point.
far had they dropped? You remember?
They're only at like 40, 50k.
Yeah.
Oh.
For the 8 hours.
Yeah, they will raise really quick once Aquapolis is released.
Dragon skin maps have gone down to about like 5 gil.
Yeah, those are useless.
That's so upsetting.
You can still get a tree and make a bunch of money off
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
we should. I mean, you can.
Don't talk
Just
about the tree. Wow,
Oh
orange
god,
is
yeah, not with orange.
You open a chest, you see a bunch of leaves on the ground, celebrate because you just made a bunch of money.
Yeah, Orange wouldn't do that because he would undercut.
Oh
Orange,
yeah.
Orange
I
got
could
the
make
tree.
10 million
You have to play safe. You never know
Okay,
when
everyone-
someone is going to undercut you.
Everyone, I'm about to make you everyone listening and watching very upset. But Orange got a tree. I think it was like the first week of Aquapolis or something. It was
very early.
brand new. You can just imagine how much money he can make.
How angry we were.
How much did it go for when you put it up, Orange?
I mean,
How much was the
one I
price?
saw was about 24
Million.
Million.
Yeah.
What did you sell yours for, Orange?
6.
Jeez, for God's sake.
I hate you.
And
But
Orange is not like a casual undercut. He's not the 1 gil kind of guy. He's not the 10 gil. He's the 7 million kind of gil guy.
Why?
It's like you sell it fast. You sell it fast.
get 24 million for the swamp to put it for 3 million.
Why would you do that?
But the reason I started doing this is because someone was doing what I'm doing right now. They were undercutting me. So I thought, oh, you want to play my game? Okay, let's do it together. So I broke this server. Well,
Yeah, let's destroy the economy because
Oh, yeah.
I want to earn a quick buck.
It's like it's more than a personal war with all those undercutters out there. So if you're from Ragnarok, have fun playing with me in the market.
Be very
Orange
afraid.
is threatening the crafters
You
of
you just threaten an entire server. That's nice.
I don't care about the money. I just care about.
I don't care about the money. I just care about ruining everything.
Yeah,
Why even sell it?
yeah. It's like why don't you just keep it?
Just make a party finder. I'm giving away valuable stuff
The
for free.
last,
Yeah,
the last time I undercut it, which was earlier this week,
of
I
course.
did it. I did it because my inventory was full and I had to sell. I'm not worried about money. Well, I still owe 5 million to kill.
Okay.
He's in debt and he's undercutting.
Okay, let's just really quick take one question in the chat. What is everyone's opinion on the relevance of the hunt? Applies to everyone except Orange, who doesn't care about Materia 6. Yeah, because hunts did see a big surge in popularity with Stormblood because there's a lot of neat stuff you can buy now for the seals. One of the items being the speed upgrade for the Realm Reborn areas. And there's a lot of really good looking minions that you can get as well.
Really?
There's like a cat, which is an actual red cat, not like, or orange cat, like the, I can't remember what it's called, but it looks really nice. So there are a lot of cool stuff you can get now, which is why the hunt is so popular now. I haven't done I did one hunt. No, wait, I actually did quite a few.
Oh yeah, the tiger.
I did like 5.
Yeah, when somebody gets the tiger in 4 years. I still find that absurd.
Yeah.
I'm actually liking hunts a lot. I used it as an opportunity to go back and get the wyvern mount from the Heaven's Word hunts. It's great. I mean, it's awesome. I think it's. I mean, if you're gonna hunt, now is definitely the time. The instances, right? You can do an absurd. Like you can be hunting constantly the entire time you're on. If you.
Yeah.
I haven't been doing that much hunting, but I mean, I've been using it to get some grade 6s, and
yeah,
it's fine.
I was I haven't done. I've only done like the low level ones. I haven't done like the A ranks and the S. Are the S ranks still? I don't even know if the S ranks are still around. Are there S ranks in Stormblood areas?
There's some.
There must be.
There's been a few that's left out because
Okay.
they basically didn't put the S ranks in the fringes and the peaks. I don't believe because they don't want to crash the instances because they're so early on.
Yeah.
It would prevent people. Then they did the same thing for Heavensward. I don't think they added them in Sea of Clouds and Kurthus Western until a few weeks later.
Imagine if they had the S rank implemented while the Raubon thing was happening.
Like that would be horrible.
God, that would be awesome. So let's just quickly then. Are the hunts fun?
No.
They're
Don't
hunts.
know. I've not done one in a Stormblood yet.
I haven't
hunts.
either. I haven't really
They're
done an
fine.
actual one.
But
I like
only
the
remember
concept, but what I don't like is
the mechanics of the boss, right?
well, no. I actually the fights are quite well done, but
It's mostly AoEs
it's like a
and-
boss just randomly in a so that's fine. I don't really care too
They're
much about
okay.
that. What I don't
Yeah.
like are the players, which
Mm.
there's the toxicity that was there when the hunts were introduced. Like you pulled on a name calling names. I don't know if that's just something happening on our server because it's a legacy server and there are elitists everywhere.
It happens sometimes.
Yeah, but I see that every time there's a hunt spawning, and then they just like, this person pulled, and everyone's like, burn him, burn the witch.
Yeah.
And
I pulled
It
once.
would be like 40 minutes after someone's called it out first. It's like,
is it still up? Is
oh
it
my
still
god,
up?
you killed it.
It's like an hour
There was-
since it spawned. It's like, is it still up?
Why did you wait for me?
You should have waited.
There's a few notorious people on Cactuar who I'm pretty sure now are blacklisted by every single person on the server.
Oh right,
So they just can't do anything. I think they might have actually left.
nice.
I remember
Um,
when Luki and Maela, we were in the upper Lanosia, and
Yes.
you died, Lukile, and you triggered an S rank.
Yeah. Do you remember that?
What?
You triggered. Yeah, I
You
remember
died
that.
somehow. I think you got mute and you got killed by some 30.
I got nude.
level 30. Yeah.
That's not uncommon for you. Don't try and pretend.
Wait, what?
Well, you died and
Yeah.
you triggered an S rank in upper Lanosia.
Oh yeah, I remember that now. Yeah. I
remember when we were doing before?
I was just randomly
Don't
running
say it,
around
just don't
naked,
say it, but
and
I
something
mean-
pulled, and I pulled just a random mob, and because I died, it was in outer Lanosia. Yeah,
and
it triggered
another
an
thing
S
that came to my mind once we're because we're talking about hands when we were farming hands for the milestone gear
Oh yeah.
when we were the police and we wanted that
Let's not.
officer
We
gear.
do not talk about that. That did not happen.
That didn't happen.
It's
either.
just plastered on the immovable post forever. So let's not talk about that.
What's your guys' opinion about doing the upgrade, like when they allow you to upgrade the tome gear through hunts? Do you guys like that, or
I don't like it a huge amount because it does sort of, people get really into hunts and they get very aggressive. But
Exactly.
It's a nice alternative way, but it's, it kind of cheapens the raid.
Yeah,
upgrade.
I think that's when it's at its most like hateful is during
Mhm.
that.
that's when the hardcore
now-
raiders are out in the open world.
Right. Right now, it's actually I haven't found hunts to be that bad at all. Again, I haven't done a crazy amount of them. I've more been personally just looking out for Ixion. That's the only thing I care about right now.
Yeah, where
Um,
exactly does that spawn?
That spawns in the locks.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen it all, but you can't mount from him. So
I've
I kind of
also
want to
been
do it.
waiting for
8
the.
out of 12.
Oh
8 out of 12.
wow! I haven't
Oh,
even
screw you,
seen
man.
it yet.
I haven't done a single hunt.
Also, the
No, me
Fox
neither.
Fate.
I joined in while I was leveling there or something, and they're like, Fox Fate. I was like, what?
Yeah, I was like,
What's
what the
this?
fuck is this?
I
Fox
think
thing?
I'll join in, but it didn't spawn.
And then I started seeing people with fox ears everywhere, and I was like, oh, I kind of.
I'm kind of glad they look quite fake.
They do.
I was like, I would have been really jealous if they look really good, but they don't actually look.
Because you can see the actual head
Yeah.
thing. So I wish that.
Problem with the fates back there was were the instances.
The strangest thing about the Fox Fate to me is that you complete it once, and you can buy every single thing that comes from the and have extra.
I don't mind that much if it's.
It drops 15 something. It's like rocks or something. It drops. I don't know.
Wow.
You get 50 of them. The mount or the minion is like 5. The ears are like 3. And I think there's a housing item that's again a few. So you actually have some left over.
Can you sell the things?
No, I just threw them on the ground after I was done. So like, how's that? Yeah. Why would anyone do that fate anymore after a little while? It's like it's not like Ixion where you need to beat it 6 times with gold credit to actually get the mount. It's like you're doing it like 3 times and then.
I mean, the reward isn't really that great though. You get like a headpiece and a minion. With Ixion, you get a mount. Pretty badass one.
What does it look like? Oh,
it looks like Ixion.
It's Ixion.
That's just Ixion himself.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Then.
Yeah. So that's I like that the open world is more alive now because of the fate, the Fox Fate, and Ixion and the hunts. So
I think the Twist of Fate bonus has alone done such a good thing for just people being out in the open world. I mean, obviously DPS queues, they're getting better now, but they're still pretty shitty overall. And I think it's valid to be okay. I'm gonna go and do fates because you can get quadruple experience on them and crazy stuff like that if things happen to line up. That was a really smart idea, I think, personally.
Yeah, it made, as you said, because I didn't do fates at all in Stormblood because they were just nothing. It wasn't worth the time and effort to do them. But now it's like
I ended up doing a lot of fates in Heaven's Word, but only because I wanted to get all the animas. But they had to they basically had to force me to do them.
That's true.
This time around, I'm
the fucking animas.
Sure. I'll wait for a dungeon queue. I'll do some fates.
If they sort of went through every single zone and had like fate chains with unique to each zone, like drop items to get unique glamours.
They've been doing
single zone. I mean, not just for the new ones though. To retroactively do it for every old zone. Then that would breathe a lot of life into all the zones.
Has anyone done the 12? I think it's 12 fate chain in the Azim Steppes.
What?
There's a
12. It's 12.
What do you get at the end of that?
A flag.
You get a flag?
Wow.
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 It's whatever. It's got a really cool story actually. So if you do happen to see it out, I would recommend doing it. I think it's like the Daki something, but it's actually really cool.
That sounds
cool. Where is it located in Azim Steppes? Like north?
I think it goes over almost the entire zone.
Oh Jesus!
Nice.
Well, I guess it's
12.
Since
it's 12. So
wow, that's too much. I think. What the fuck?
They do some really cool stuff with that fate that I actually would love to see them use. Like the fate will move around, right? And they will set up temporary camps that don't exist normally, but they'll set them up, and you'll actually see buildings out there. They're all fake. You can walk right through them.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah,
but it's still
nice
really
idea.
cool. And there'll be a bunch of NPCs talking about the story and stuff like that, which I think is a really cool concept.
I like that. Yeah,
love to see them do it.
That sounds really good
great
actually.
idea.
Yeah.
Pro tip though, if you want to be an asshole, you can just do 12. You can just do the 12th one.
Just wait for them to clear. Yeah. Well, yeah. Again, fates good. They're good now.
Yeah.
They're good again.
They're doing a good job.
Can't wait for them to add the new fates to Eureka.
Can't wait for
Let's not talk about Eureka. We're gonna wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching this episode 50 of Speakers of Hydaelyn. It was a weird one. We've talked about.
It's very strange.
I mean, I think it's the first one where we're actually given Tanaka some airtime. To those of you watching us on demand on the recording on Sunday, remember to watch us live one day. We're on. Fuck, I can't even do the ending. I just see Tanaka's stone face.
You better edit that into the YouTube version.
Just a stone face Tanaka there. What was I saying? Oh yeah, remember to follow us on all our stuff. It's right above me actually. And Discord. The Discord link is in the description if you're watching on recording. If you're watching it live, exclamation Discord to get the link. Thank you guys for watching. We will be back next week, same time, same place. Until then, bye
Happy
guys.
Canada Day.
Happy
Bye.
Canada Day. Thank you for watching this episode of Speakers of Hydaelyn. If you want to watch the show live, the show runs live every Saturday at 7 p.m. GMT, 12 p.m. PDT on twitch.tv/Speakers of Hydaelyn and on youtube.com/SpeakersXIV. If you want to support the show, consider pledging to our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/SpeakersXIV. Thank you.